Hello and welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Allred.
And today we are discussing Nickelodeon's brand new take on an age-old IP, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. I had no intention to see this. Way back when we decided to reboot the formula of the show and recorded some early content, the first thing I did was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode with Colton on the 1990 movie, and I sat on that for a few months and released it last week. But in that episode, I pretty much condemned the Ninja Turtles franchise as schlocky nonsense and had no intention to see this. But then the reviews were so damn positive, and it's pretty fucking good. I don't care for teenagers. I don't really like mutants. Ninjas kind of bother me, and I could give a shit about turtles. So the fact that I enjoyed this is kind of crazy.
You're the only person I know that's fighting the ridiculousness of this franchise.
It's not just that it's ridiculous, it's that it's like just executed so poorly for every live action version that we've gotten.
It's really not.
I've seen the 91, I saw the 2014 one, and that was enough for me. But this thing was special.
Yeah, it's up there with the 90s one. It is up there with the 90s one. Look, the first two 90s ones are great. Now, Turtles in Time, I have a lot of issues with. They have fared decently better in animation, but again, like the Ninja Turtles, like have had this weird synergy when it comes to like their TV and movie output, because like comics came out, the show came out, which I don't know if you guys, I can't remember. I know I listened to the episode, I can't remember now though. The show, the 80s show, is when they started wearing different colored bandanas because the comics were black and white. But then when the 90s movie came out, which I know you guys may comment how light it is, actually the 90s film was dark for its time when it came out, because the property was dark, and they got pushback after its release that's why Secretly Used is like a night and day difference if you watch Secretly Used, because it's like a lot more kid friendly, a lot more like lighter. There's much more jokes put into it. Like it's kind of like when Batman Returns got backlash and they did Batman Forever. The same concept kind of happened with Ninja Turtles, but in turn, because of that movie, it made the original show last well into the 90s. And like Colton was saying, they had the 2003 show. Nickelodeon did another show in like 2012, and it's just been like. And then we had the two Michael Bay films, which the first one's all right. I remember I liked the second one better because it embraced Turtles more. They put Bebop and Rocksteady into it. They didn't do stunt casting with Johnny Knoxville as Leonardo, which was kind of weird. I have nothing against Johnny Knoxville at all, but I was just like, why?
I remember you dragged me to the 2014 one because I had these same feelings back then, but you were like, no, trust me, this is gonna be really good. This is gonna be fun, and it wasn't. But you had fun, so that's good. I remember it was very obvious William Fichtner was supposed to play Shredder, but everyone was like, he's white, why are you doing this? And they're like, no, he's not Shredder, we promise. So they like edited in some extra shit to be like, no, real Shredder's over here, he's just like Shredder's assistant or something. It was painfully obvious.
That one. I don't know why they thought like we'd be down with William Fichtner as Shredder. That was a dumb move on their part, but that's Michael Bay producing a movie for you.
Well, they almost made them aliens. I remember the initial concept was like, they're aliens, and everyone who cares about the Turtles were like, why are you doing this to us? We're the only ones who are going to see this. Why are you fucking with us?
Yeah. And again, it's like they clearly learned their lesson with that movie and then went much more into like Turtles like they should be in the second film, but no one gave a shit because it's the first film, so it did not do nearly as well.
Well, this time they're actually fucking teenagers. Like, nice change of pace. Like, that was the one part they just ignored in the title. They were ninjas, they were mutants, they were turtles, but they were never fucking teenagers. But now they are, and I think that works because they're supposed to be ridiculous, over the top, goofy characters. And I just feel like Michael Bay took it too seriously, and
Yeah.
the first round of movies didn't take it seriously enough. And I think this was a good medium.
Yeah. I agree with you on like the Michael Bay. I personally disagree with the '90s ones. I think they were doing their best at that time.
Well, I think we talked about that in the episode. Also, it was like I didn't grow up with this. I don't have any nostalgia attached to the Ninja Turtles, so it's going to be hard for me to get on board with this.
No, I know because you suck right now, and I'm trying to be nice.
I why start now?
I need to turn a new leaf eventually. No, well, I think they've been embracing it more. I think the more recent Nickelodeons, like a TV show, one that ran for like 5 seasons. I believe they were also teenagers in that. They also had a more horror based influence on that one. Apparently, like they got like a lot of horror talent involved in that one.
Well, I'm talking just in film. Like in film, they're like this is the
Yeah,
first time they're teenagers. I haven't seen any of the shows.
yeah, this is the first time in film that they've done it. I'm sure they probably, well, no, I was about to say maybe they did do in the '90s one, but because let's hire older actors to play teenagers trope in Hollywood. I was like, no, I don't
Anybody
think
can
they
make
made.
a noise. Anybody can make their voice sound like whoa, how tubular. Like anybody can do that.
Yeah, but I think what helps that they actually cast teenagers to play the teenage part of the turtles
Mhm.
in this film. And again, animation just affords you a lot more to do, so I think that helped in their favor. Instead of like having the rubber suits that I'm sure at the time were great looking when the film came out in the '90s, but now just it is what it is. And then the CGI monstrosities that Michael Bay went for in his take on it.
Yeah, he's fucking like artistic poison. He's box office gold, but he's artistic poison.
Oh God, yes.
uh so yeah, this movie is animated in a very cool way, similar to the Sony's Spider-Verse movies. This cool like comic booky stop motion style animation, which I just love. It looks so neat. Uh and this world, it looks like, it's a grimy, gross New York City where the people just look like rougher than the mutants, which is a cool concept. Like it looks like New York City.
Yeah, yeah, I love the anime. So because like I'll say it, I'm really bored animation wise with like Disney and Pixar's output because
Oh yeah.
it's and again, yes, does it look very nice? Absolutely, it does, but it's bland. I've seen it before for years since I was a kid.
It looks great. It's very, it's a lot of care was put into making this look good. But what are you going to do with it? Because I can tell you right now, like I didn't see Elemental, but I can tell you the entire plot off the top of my head, just guessing, and I think I'll be at least 80% accurate.
At least,
Yeah. I don't some about that look is very predictable now.
yeah.
Whereas this is something Seth Rogen, I think, was the brainchild behind this, which is
Him
fantastic.
and Evan Goldberg, yeah,
Yeah, their brand of comedy is just hilarious. Just you know, you put two stoners in charge of the Ninja Turtles, you're gonna get something good.
yeah, and guys are clearly fans of it. Like I don't know if your theater did, but we had like they had a thing where like Seth Rogen quickly like did a little like thank you for coming to see the film.
Yeah,
You could tell in that statement like he was very excited about. He's proud of this movie. He's very excited for this.
he should be. It was very good work, and it converted. I didn't give a shit about the turtles, but I was invested. But within 5 minutes, I was like, this is really good. I'm into this. So right there, the fact that he was able to convert people, that speaks volumes to this film's quality.
Yeah, and he did a lot of smart things. Like I said, the animation, like I said, is fucking wonderful. It feels like a comic book. It feels like something straight out of there. The way he did rearrange the mythos a lot and did change some of the lore. Obviously, big one people might have some beef with is how Splinter is portrayed in the film. He's not just the master, sensei rat that he has been in prior adaptations. He's legitimately a dad, voiced by Jackie Chan, which is fucking great. Um, but to me, it worked, and what they did with a lot of the mutants that are generally regarded as their villains in the various comics and shows that we've seen the turtles put out, and the way they handle them. And I also, again, I appreciate when a film said, "Hey, let's say the big villain that we all know people want to see. Let's wait, make sure we get them on board with this brand of type we're doing." and then would do. It's kind of like when Batman Begins did Scarecrow save Joker for Dark Knight. Like, hey, let's get them into this world, and then give them what that dynamic that people know for. So I like that he did that a lot too.
Yeah, was Superfly an original creation or a character in the cartoon?
I'm pretty sure he's a character in the cartoon. Almost every single character that you saw on the mutant side was a character in the cartoon.
Well, that's cool. I like that. I loved Ice Cube's Superfly. He was such a great bad guy, like big and intimidating, but also just kind of goofy and ridiculous at the same time. I like that. It was a good villain for this kind of movie, and the tease we got of Shredder. I was actually really excited by that. I was like, "Oh, Shredder's coming," and I'm like, "You've never cared about Shredder one time, but now I do. Now I'm like, I want to see Shredder." I hope they do like fucking Krang in part 3. Like, why not?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, it's cool. And the voice cast. And you mentioned Jackie Chan, but we've got Io Edebiri as April O'Neil. We got Maya Rudolph. We got John Cena, Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, Giancarlo Esposito, Paul Rudd, like Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man! Like, they got A+ people in this, and they're all doing a great job.
Oh yeah, like all his friends, like Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko was great, and then finding out that when he got Rose Byrne here, I guess ever since Neighbors, they have a great fucking working relationship going on because he works with her a lot now. I've noticed. Apparently she played Leatherhead, and she was told, yeah, just use your Australian accent. But I think she did like what Fran Dresser did back when she was on The Nanny. She just exaggerated the shit out of it.
I think it was Seth Rogen and John Cena were Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yes.
I always thought they were, you mentioned that they like converted a lot of characters to be a little bit more heroic, and I didn't expect that. I like that it wasn't just, mutants are evil. They were actually like free thinking characters like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And Superfly's just like, no, we're doing it. Like, I love that whole thing. Like, you don't see that a lot in fiction where the villain's crew is just like, I don't know if we want to do this.
Yeah, especially like characters like Bebop from Rocksteady who have typically traditionally been portrayed as like henchmen to Shredder that always want to fight the turtles. I did like the constant nods of like, I don't know why I'm angry, but I'm getting angry right now. Like, I love the constant nods to like, obviously Seth, we're gonna be like, look, we're aware of how these characters are portrayed. We're fans ourselves. We're just mixing it up for this new movie. And then I love also, I don't know if you caught it, they had 2 shout outs to the original comic creators in the movie, Eastman High for Kevin Eastman. And then when they met April, when it said the Laird, that was in honor of Peter Laird, the 2 co-creators for the Ninja Turtles comics.
That is cool. I like that. I did catch the Vanilla Ice song cameo. I like that.
That was great.
Ninja Go. I didn't expect to hear that. Yeah, I love the modern references to stuff. Like, I thought that was great. Just I saw this like 5 days ago. I'm having trouble recalling specifics, but there were a lot of moments of like the turtles just being teenagers and referencing shit they watched on on Netflix and stuff. I thought that was really cute and grounded it in a modern setting.
Yeah, like Attack on Titan and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, there we go. Yeah, Attack on Titan. There's one.
I only know that because people still talk about because I think the final season of that is airing, so it's like still getting talked about.
Yeah, I've yet to take the plunge into anime because I don't have the time to watch 900+ episodes of anything.
Yeah, some animes aren't that long, but even then, I just don't have that time.
I'm sure I'll get there. Somebody's gonna do it. Somebody's gonna convince me to take that plunge. I don't know who it's gonna be. I have a feeling I know who it's gonna be.
I've dabbled my toes occasionally, like Netflix's Castlevania show.
Yeah,
I watched that. I'm gonna watch the spinoff.
I watched a few like Studio Ghibli films. Like, I got no problem watching like films, but the shows are a huge commitment.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to talk about April O'Neil because a lot of just mean people were very, yeah, not actual people, not good people, like
right, racist bigots.
Yeah, we're pissed that we had a black April O'Neil, and yeah, that's really it. That's the only reason they were pissed. And you know what? Why? It doesn't matter.
Who gives a shit? I like
he
this
was an awesomely written character who just like was funny and cool and neat and yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and look, guys, first off, one, it's an animated movie, so let's calm down. If you guys want your fucking white hot April O'Neil, go watch the plethora of creepy fucking porno editions they made of Ninja Turtles that exist, or watch any of the other films that have Megan Fox as April O'Neil, or I think Judith Hogue played her in the fucking 90s film, the first 90s film before she got replaced in the sequel. Like, you can go watch the other ones that have your fucking version of April O'Neil, but I personally don't give a shit because I really like this one as well as the other versions I've seen.
Also, this is like a 15-year-old girl in the movie, so maybe we don't sexualize her. There's
Yeah,
also
that too. Again, if you want the sexualized version, well, porn exists, guys, and I trust me, there's porn parodies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I believe you. I believe you.
It
I
knows
just
no
find it
bounds in that area.
I'm so tired of this. Every time there's a reimagining of something or and there's a, person like an actor of color playing a character who's been white in the past, it turns into this giant like debate where they're talking about it on the news and shit. Like we did this with the Little Mermaid, or did it
Yeah,
with
mind
Ninja
you,
Turtles. Yeah.
and they do with characters that aren't real. They're not real.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Mermaids don't exist. Maybe. I know people have their fucking videos they like to say it just proves it.
Mermaids aren't real,
But
journalists aren't real, so it's fine.
journalists aren't real.
Journalists used to be real. Somewhere along the line, we lost them.
What was the oh god, Lord of the Rings? There it was when they did the recent show and like the fanboys were like, not orcs. It was like elves or some race.
I think it was elves.
It may have been elves. Don't have black people, and I'm like, it's a fucking fantasy show.
House of the Dragon went through the same shit with the family that married the Targaryens. I don't remember their name because I've only seen one
No,
season
oh
of it.
no, not Viserion. I forget off the top of my head. There were so many characters, but I know who you're talking about.
Here, I'm just gonna look up the name of the family. Uh, Getting there. We've got, what the hell was their name? Valerian. Those guys. Fantasy. I did.
Yeah,
They don't. People don't like assholes do not like, and people getting to play in their magical sandbox, and it's just ridiculous. I think it wouldn't be that big. It wouldn't be considered a big deal if we just stopped giving these people a platform and like giving their assholery a way to giving it legitimacy by making it like a newsworthy story.
yeah, because it's not. It's fucking stupid, and especially in these two most recent cases of this one and Little Mermaid, like you were saying, I think the actress Little Mermaid's a teenager in the recent one. And April O'Neil in this new movie is again a teenager. So why do you care? Because that is fucking creepy.
But
One
the
is,
only argument you have is I can't jerk off to this. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
yeah, I don't, because I'm just looking at you like, dude. Again, at least in the case of Mutant Ninja Turtles, go back and watch the ones with Megan Fox as April O'Neil. There you go. She's an of age woman. Or go watch, the adult parodies that exist. There you go. Same with Little Mermaid, if we're being honest, because again, it knows no bounds in that arena. But don't bring that creep to this aspect of film, for Christ's sakes.
Well, all right. Now that we got that out of the way, she does a great job. She is the Io Edibiri is she's in The Bear, and she's fantastic in that. And she's also going to be in, I think, Bottoms later this year, or actually next month. Okay. And she's just hilarious and fantastic and a solid up and comer. And she did a great job as April. I liked April. She was just there to help. And one of my favorite parts is when she goes to Splinter to say like, "Hey, they're in danger," and even though she was told like he hates humans, but she was like, "No, somebody's got to help me save them." Like I love that. And Splinter immediately was like, "My kids are in danger. Let's go."
Yeah, no, that was a really good scene. I did like when I loved the running joke of him saying you can't get caught by humans because they'll milk you, and the constant we don't even have nipples.
That was the fucking payoff of that was so great.
And they get milk. I love when Sperm's like, what does that say over there?
I love when it starts happening to one of, I think, like Raphael, and they're all just like, "What? No way! That's no." Dad was right. They're like, "Let's keep milking them until we get the required amount," and it's this like 40-foot jar.
That's what happens when you get people like Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, comedy geniuses behind this.
Yeah, clever, hilarious.
Isn't it kind of wild thinking of Seth like this is a guy that we have known acting wise for a while because we were kids when he was like bursting onto the scene, and ever since, and I know even then he was doing stuff at Evan Goldberg like writing and directing and producing a lot of the movies he was strong in, but kind of seeing him make the switch over to predominantly just being behind the scenes now as opposed to being in front of the camera so much, like, and the shit he's come out with since then, like The Boys. I know Preacher was a big hit on AMC. Now this, like, Bravo. Oh, he Cobweb, got a limited release. His production company produced that. Good for him for really kind of showing some diversity and doing really like cool, daring stuff. Now that he is in, who he is now.
He's definitely come into his own. He's had some pretty solid dramatic roles as well. I don't know if you ever saw Steve Jobs.
No, I didn't know.
He played Wozniak, and he did a great job just going toe to toe with Fassbender in some pretty dramatic moments. Like he was Oscar worthy in that movie. Like, he was fantastic. He's a very versatile filmmaker, artist, and he just gets to do. He's earned his position in Hollywood, like at that point where now he can do pretty much whatever he wants, and what he wants to do is outrageous, fun shit. And he just keeps delivering. I'm so glad that the whole Franco thing didn't drag him down too. I was really worried that was going to happen.
He handled that well, is I think what happened when first I mean, I know he stayed quiet for a while. But when he finally talked about it, he was like, look, we're not hanging out personally. I'm not working with him professionally. Like, I just want to move past this right now.
Well, you had to, I'm glad it wasn't such a flippant, oh, fuck him. I mean, when your best friend is revealed to be somewhat of a monster, like that's not something you just, make a quick decision on. Like you got to think through that shit. You got to deal with that. So I'm glad that he dealt with that.
Yeah. And then now, obviously, the stuff that's been going on with Jonah Hill, someone else he's collaborated with numerous times,
Yeah. Franco's a pervert and Hill's a bit of a control freak. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. So it's good that like Rogan apparently is such a nice guy that he is like saying clear these things. People still want to work with him because they're like, look, your friend's not so great, but we like you, buddy.
I keep expecting like Jay Baruchel to be like arrested for like cooking meth or something. Like, just who's next?
Right. I think what helps with Rogan is like he's a generally nice dude that just likes to smoke weed and then do his job and go home.
He's good at it. He smokes weed. He thinks of like, oh dude, what if I got a girl pregnant? There's a movie. Like and that's where it happens. Like he's probably, getting stoned, watching Ninja Turtles on like, streaming, and he's like, maybe I could do that. And there you go, Mutant Mayhem. I think that's where most of his ideas come from. Just getting stoned and just whatever he's watching at the time. He's like, I can do that.
Just calls up Evan. He's like, I have an idea. Let's start writing.
He gets fucked up. He starts reading The Boys. He's like, oh, this would be a pretty good TV show. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's leading to great content. He cares about the process. Like, let him, give the man a bowl and see what happens.
Yeah. I still think my favorite introduction he did for movies when he did what he did from the interview because of all the issues they had getting that movie released. That shit was funny.
I love, like, we were the only people in the theater when we went to see that. And that was so much fun because, it had just been dropped on Netflix because people gave up on it really fast. But we were like, no, we're going. And yeah, the server was like, talk all you want. We don't care. It was just us.
Yeah.
It was funny. I thought it was great. I bought it. I have it. I thought the interview was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious. I still think it's funny.
Yeah.
Say what you want about like
off North Korea. What are they going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Say what you want about like the personal stuff that went down with James Franco, but his movies with Rogan were hilarious.
I know. I don't want to say like the biggest casualty of that whole thing is like we're not going to get more content because like no, the biggest casualty is those women's feelings and futures. But I do think it sucks that yeah, Franco was a talented dude. He was just a piece of shit.
Yeah, massive apparently.
Mm-hmm. I'm just picturing that the scene where he gets raptured and this is the end, and he's like, "Fuck you, assholes," and then gets dropped. Appropriate. Yeah. Uh, um, I love the soundtrack to this movie. It is so just like 90s hip hop bitchin', Tribe Called Quest and Blackstreet and like just like some Wu-Tang Clan was in there. Just
I think so, yeah.
kick ass.
No, yeah, it's the perfect soundtrack that kind of reflects, like, obviously I would say probably Seth Rogen's like youth, but also like when this franchise in a way got big, right? Because yes, the comics were big enough to create the show that happened in the 80s, but the movie helped launch the show and keep it going even longer. Because I think they showed it in like 97 and it started like mid 80s. Like it lasted a while.
Let me you
I was
keep
like,
going.
look it up. Okay, I was like, I know the 80s show ran for a while, and I think the movie helped boost it, is why. Um,
The show started in 1987 and ended in 1996.
okay, 96. Yeah, I mean, a good almost decade. So yeah, total. That I would say like it makes sense that he went with a 90s soundtrack because it seems like that's when it really took off. Like this franchise was taking off in the 90s with the 90s film, and then the show lasting as long as it did.
Well, there's something about this property, and I don't think it's just that like the movie came out in 1990 or whatever. Like there's just a 90s feeling about this whole idea. Like this could not come out in any other decade. Like you need like the craziness of the 80s to build up something as wild as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that people can get on board with.
Yeah, because I mean, like inherently, this is a just I all joking aside, I get why some people are like, you really like this franchise. I'm like, yeah, like because it's asking a lot. It's like, look, we're going to give you something that is in the title. They are teenagers, they are mutants, they are ninjas, and they are turtles. Are you on board or not? Yes or no? Tell me now. Like, it's a ridiculous concept. It has a fucking rat that's like a master ninja with a vendetta against a human being known as Shredder that you never see his face unless it's the first 90s film. Um, like it's a fucking wild concept that just I think it came out at the right time and it took off and I think for a lot of people it is nostalgia of the youth because like I said the first two films my grandparents had on VHS. I used to watch the first two like constantly, especially Secret Youth. I really like Secret of the Youth as a kid because again it would have been more kid friendly route anyway. So they did more things to attract the youth with that one.
Yeah,
Um,
like Vanilla Ice. Every
yeah,
kid's favorite rapper.
yeah, Hugh didn't like go ninja, go. Right. Yeah. Oh, and to explain why, real quick, your beef with them having Domino's Pizza, because it's called paid sponsorship, buddy. Like, yes, we are aware New York has tons of local areas, but money talks, and Pizza Hut and Domino's were the two biggest goddamn franchises.
I am well aware of that. I think we talk about that at the end of the episode. Like there was a like Pizza Hut paid for the sponsorship, but they used like Domino's in the movie or something like that. It was like wow.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in real life, if you're in New York, don't go to Domino's. Go to anywhere else.
Well, yeah, but also I would hope people don't assume that they're ninja mutant like turtles living in the sewer of New York. Oh, a big alligator living in the
People are
sewer of New
stupid,
York.
and they do.
So
The alligator in the sewer thing is 100% believed by quite like more people than you'd think.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, and actually I think Pizza Hut sponsored this new one too, as well. Like Pizza Hut went big on this new one as well. And they're actually in the movie this time. I noticed the Pizza Hut boxes. Um, but yeah, this is like because of me like seeing this song, it's had a special place in my heart, this franchise. So yeah, but again, I get it. It's a ridiculous concept, but to its credit, it's endured somehow for years. Because like I said, there's been numerous other shows since then. Michael Bay felt the need to put his hands on this. Now we have this movie. Like, I don't know how this franchise is still kicking, but it is kicking.
I love the way you said that. Michael Bay felt the need to put his hands on this, almost like it was non-consensual.
Because I don't think it was.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's well, think about it like this. Is it any different? I mean, different, yeah, but is it any weirder conceptually than like Batman or Spider-Man or the Transformers or G.I. Joe? It's all crazy wacko shit that you have to take a big leap of faith to get invested in. And it's way easier to take that leap of faith when you're a kid who just believes, Santa's real and anything can happen. As an adult, it's a little harder to get involved in that stuff, entry level. But it does happen, but it's tougher. If I was, if I'd never seen a Batman movie and I was just now learning about it, I'd be like, this rich guy dresses up like a bat and beats the shit out of clowns. Why would I want to watch that?
Sounds stupid.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but it's all about the care in which you put into the project. And this, I felt that with this movie. Like, this movie finally convinced me that there is something in the Ninja Turtles. So there you go. Doesn't mean I'm going to go back and watch Secret of the Ooze and be like, oh, this is great. That's probably not going to happen. But this was fun.
Just know you're wrong about your feelings on the two 90s films. I agree. Actually, if you do like the animated stuff, there is an animated one they made in the early 2000s. It was just called TMNT. That was also really good. That I've seen. It's actually in my set. But yeah, no, it's very obvious when I immediately when this started with the animation, the voice acting stuff, I'm like, this is a group of people that love this franchise, love what this is, and want to give us something good. And it relayed into it. Like I said, I think I was surprised. And I don't really care about Rotten Tomatoes, but when I saw its critics score, I was like, holy shit. I have not seen that for this franchise even once. Even close to that.
I saw a chart that had the critic score of every Ninja Turtles film on like a bar graph, and it was like none of them crested above like 35%, and then this one is right through the top to like 97.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ!
But even with all that, it didn't do that great this weekend.
Can we talk about that? Like, what is with this? Like, I know we've talked about it before a couple times. Like, this has been not the summer for blockbusters, if we're being honest. Not the summer.
Really has not. Like any other year, all this stuff should have at least broke even. But a lot of it's not even making it that far. This film on a budget of $70 million on opening weekend grossed about $51.5 million. Now, it's got time to make those numbers up, but opening weekend is really where it's at. So, shit. That's more money to Barbie, which just crossed $1 billion globally, which is great. It was an awesome movie, but it's sucking the lifeblood out of everything else.
Yeah. Which really sucks because and again, I'm like you, a film, it shouldn't matter opening weekend slowly, I should say. A good film will have legs. And I do think this will do good in the coming weeks, especially with word of mouth. But what sucks is that that's not what studios look at. You know what I mean? Like, we don't live in the days of like when, you hear that everyone, or most film fans know the original story to Scream, where, yeah, it didn't do great its first weekend at all. It should have, like, nowadays, I should get pulled, like, no. Like,
the landscape was so different then. People had time to breathe with this shit.
Yeah, like back then because they gave it time to breathe. Guess what? Like, word of mouth was strong that weekend for those who did go see it. They had a stronger second weekend and then a stronger third weekend, and it just kept going. Now, like, the studios, it doesn't matter what the word of mouth is, and if all of a sudden it has a super strong second weekend, with the only competition being the last Voyage of Demeter, which is only going to attract the adult audience, so there's still a prime slot for families to go see something. So that's not going to matter because all the studios going to be like, well, it didn't do that good this past weekend. And it sucks because they had a lot of faith in this, obviously, because before it came out, they greenlit a sequel. They greenlit a TV show that was going to lead into the sequel. Like, they had a lot of faith and went, "Hey, we're going to do a TV show like that actually leads into the sequel. The voice cast is coming back, and we're doing a full on sequel." I
Yeah.
hope they don't get cold feet and backpedal. And they give it time to maybe see how it does in the weeks to come. But it just sucks because like this is one of the few cases, like other cases I've gotten it, like where I'm like, okay, I get why Indiana Jones flopped. I get why the new Mission Impossible, I can't believe I'm saying this, flopped. Like I get it. I don't understand this one. Because again, I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes, but strong critical score. Anyone else I was talking to that did see it, or even before, was like, "Oh yeah, I really want to see that. It looks really good." People who did see it were like, "Oh yeah, this was great. We really like this one." Like it, great word of mouth from the audience. And again, it's a family film, and like other than like Meg 2, what's a safe bet? Oh, I'll take my kids to go see Ninja Turtles, but it
Well,
did not do well.
well, I saw way more kids at Meg 2, which is weird.
Yeah, apparently more children want to see Meg 2, which I've heard from I've been having to get back on the dating scene, and some of the, yeah, I've been hearing that a lot from what I've been talking to is, oh yeah, this weekend I went to go see Meg 2 with the kids, and I'm like, no, Ninja Turtles, like, no, they want to see Meg 2. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I've got some funny stories about that I'll tell on our next first thoughts when we talk about Meg 2. But there is something to be said that this year, any franchise, regardless of really what it's about or like how big it's been in the past, is faltering. Like everything, like Marvel, DC, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones, fucking Ninja Turtles. If it's old news, people don't care this year. It's very strange. So I wonder like what's going to be the film that turns that around, if anything.
I don't know anymore. Like it's weird, and don't get me wrong, I get it because I do get the idea of franchise fatigue. It's something that's been talked about for a while, and it's happening for sure. But some of these properties like Ninja Turtles, other than shows, doesn't have like a consistent like lengthy movie track record. It has like the 4 films from the '90s to that first '90s one to the the animated one they came out with years later. The 2 Michael Bay ones, huge break before this one came out. Like, so it doesn't have like this one kind of boggled me. I'm like, it's not like we have a whole lot of other ones to go back on. Like Mission Impossible, okay, maybe fatigue because they've been coming out pretty consistently for years.
Well, and also it's only started in the summer. Because earlier this year we had Scream 6, which was a huge success, 169 million on 35 million, and then we had John Wick 4, which grossed 432 million on 100 million. So this is not even new. Like this is new to just the last couple months.
Yeah, like summer has not. I don't know if maybe it's been like a glut over like too many summer films coming out, or people just again like one of my theories, at least with Indiana Jones, was like how many, as even though Harrison Ford's a box office draw for sure, how much is he a box office draw though to a
Well,
younger audience as opposed to an older audience?
that's definitely something. But also, I had heard, we I don't remember which episode we talked about this on. It might have been Mission Impossible, but we talked about how like the current nature of the economy is keeping people from seeing more movies because shit's getting expensive and wages aren't changing. But then Barbie grosses $1 billion worldwide, so that kills that argument.
Yeah, Oppenheimer did great. It's not doing as good as Barbie, but it still did great.
Yeah. So what is the deal? Like what I want to figure this out.
Dude, it's really something because I really thought this Ninja Turtles was a safe bet. I was like, oh, 70 million, it's an animated family film. We'll be fine. I don't know really that many people that like Meg, but then I forgot how much kids would be enchanted by, big huge shark attack movie.
No, I think just, something about Jason Statham, the kids respond to him. They like him. He speaks he speaks, in small words like they do.
They like the staff.
Yeah. Also, another big hit this year, franchise-wise, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, 683 million on 100 million. So there's another one. So we've had 3 genuine, and I guess Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to an extent. So 4 major franchise hits this year, but way more bombs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think let's let the year peter out. Let's see how like the Marvels does and Wonka, and see how these other franchise movies do, and then I don't know. We'll make a hypothesis.
I'm curious what September onward, because I think August counts as like the last summer release month before we transition to the fall.
Let me look at I have a release calendar I made here. Let's look for the rest of the year for franchise movies. We've got The Equalizer 3 on September 1st. We've got The Nun 2 on September 8th. We've got A Haunting in Venice on September 15th, Expendables 4 on September 22nd, The Exorcist Believer on October 13th, Saw 10 on October 27th. I always want to say Saw.
You say it. I've been hearing this stuff for so long.
You want all right, Saw X. Anyway, November 3rd, Dune 2, November 10th, The Marvels, November 17th, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, December 15th, Wonka, and I'm not even going to bring up Aquaman 2 because there's no way in fuck that happens this year.
Oh, it's happening this year.
No way. I will bet everything I have that movie does not come out at Christmas.
December, Aquaman 2, got it. But it's going to be a huge fucking flop.
That's why I think they're just gonna, I don't know, push it out to like February or something and just not happen.
I'm pretty sure James Gunn's just like, no, we release these and be done with it.
Well, anyway, we've got a lot of opportunity for franchise winners here, but a lot of possible failures. I don't really know what to bet on anymore. You know,
I don't.
Yeah, there's been right now surefire shit this year that has tanked.
Yeah, like Haunting in Venice. We'll see. Apparently more people like Perot than I fucking do. Saw X. I wanted to do good, but based off the prior two films, I'm unsure if it'll be a huge hit.
I think I misspoke. Didn't Saw X get?
It got moved up to September, like September 29th, I believe.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't adjusted that yet.
Apparently, they have confidence in it big time.
Well, I think every Saw movie has done well, right?
Everyone's done well, but I'm saying just because of the reception to the last two films, I think it'll do well. I just don't think it'll be like it's not going to do anywhere near what the franchise used to do.
You know, I would love if it's Jigsaw that saves this whole thing.
It is possible.
In 2020, it was Godzilla, so you never know. It tends to be horror that rejuvenates
and that's the
people
thing too. Like they are bringing a lot of things that the fans want back, so it might be a huge hit because it has Amanda in it, Jigsaw's back,
or maybe Hollywood made a confident deal with the devil, and it's The Exorcist that rejuvenates everything.
I'm just not looking forward to that one.
This is a fascinating year. I've never seen so much, so much that you could usually bet on just fail so hard and then just disappear from the discussion. Like people stop talking about Dial of Destiny like within a week.
Yeah, dude, remember when Mission Impossible was coming out and they were like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is gonna save cinema again." The weekend it came out, stopped,
gone. It's so weird. So
what if Five Nights at Freddy's is what saves us all?
It could be. It at this point, I don't know.
It has no competition now that they moved Saw up. It's the only one coming out that weekend.
Yeah, it is. Disney's got another one in November called Wish that they have not been advertising because
I saw it when I went to go see Haunted Mansion. They advertised it there.
I didn't get Wish. I got Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's weird.
Yeah,
it's fine. Before Meg 2, again, very much like clearly being carried to a whole family. They showed the Saw X trailer. I was like, no one in this audience, children-wise, is watching the Saw X.
I had the Exorcist trailer, and I heard a lot of kids say like, "Mommy, what's that?" And a lot of like, "We're not gonna talk about it." Like I heard that, like, we're not gonna talk about it.
You can tell we're in a strike because the studios are like, just advertise something. We have nothing else coming out.
We do have some original-ish stuff coming. August 18th, Strays, Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx are Angry Dogs. Could be good.
The shows have been promising, and it seems like this is the year for raunchy comedies to be making a comeback.
It has been. The raunchy comedies this year have been awesome. All of them have been great so far. The Creator, September 29th, John David Washington's new sci-fi thing.
I want to see that. I'm really been digging those trailers. I want to check that one out.
It looks neat, but also I'm like, this is Terminator. It's the same premise.
I don't give a shit. It looks cool.
I care about that a little bit because I'm like, really, man? Ah, the one original like big thing we've got this year, and it's the Terminator.
Well, I'm saying the Terminator's been firing in all cylinders recently.
I know.
I like Dark Fate. I'll put that out right now. I like Dark Fate.
I liked Dark Fate as well, but we're kind of it.
I've noticed.
To be fair, I have not watched Dark Fate since I saw it in theaters. I've watched T1 and T2 many times since then. The rest of them, not really.
I mean, this is fair.
And then Taika Waititi's got a soccer comedy in November. Next Goal Wins, which looks pretty funny. Ridley Scott's got a Napoleon biopic, and then yeah.
Which else? I'm looking. This is nothing. It's Ridley Scott. It's probably not going to do great.
Well, it's Apple, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, and I'm only saying that because of prior Ridley Scott films that have been getting released recently. He has not been having the best with the box office as of late.
That is true.
Original films. I am actually, and it's only I don't have Apple Plus, and I do think it looks really good. So I'm probably gonna check it out in theaters because, God bless, I don't have that one streaming service it's going to. Killers of the Flower Moon. That looks fucking good.
That is one of the fucking neatest trailers I've seen in years. It just got me so pumped.
Yeah, I will be checking that one out. At first I was like, oh god, another 3-hour fucking Scorsese film. Come on, Scorsese. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, wow.
Well, I love that Marty, he could have retired 20, even 30 years ago and still had one of the most monumentous careers in movie history. But he has been cranking this shit out ever since. And this looks like another win. It's his two muses together for the first time, De Niro and DiCaprio, plus Brendan Fraser and a lot of other great performers. Jesse Plemons is in there. Like, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, and playing in a wheelbox he's very familiar with, and we know he's good at. Like,
dude, American Crime by Martin Scorsese on like reservations. This is gonna be good. I can't wait.
Yes. Oh yeah, and that trailer is good, dude. Like the music they play for it, and like I'm checking that one out. That I'm 100% seeing of all the different Arturo films, if you will, that I've skipped out on because of my own beast with the director. I'm seeing this one in theaters. I will check this one out in theaters for sure.
I'm glad. I'm so glad you don't have a problem with Scorsese like you do with Nolan.
I don't, because like, look, if I really got like every other Marvel fan, it's like, how dare this 70-something-year-old director not like Marvel comic movies? Yeah, no shit. He's in his 70s. Like he's never made films like that. It's not his cup of tea. Of course he doesn't like those types of films. I don't agree with his statement.
And, in the defense of, I guess, so Scorsese's he made Goodfellas basically 4 times. Mm-hmm. I think the guy, he has his comfort zone and he stays in there. But what he makes is so damn engaging that you get lost in it. Like, I wouldn't give him the reins to Avengers Secret Wars because he wouldn't know what to fucking do with them.
No.
It's not his kind of filmmaking. This guy came out of the 70s, where Taxi Driver was a vicious, controversial thing. And that, he was new and fresh then, and he's just been, he's Martin Scorsese. He doesn't need to change.
Well, people forget these older directors, these ones that have been in the game for a while, like Scorsese. And I know Tarantino has made some comments about how he feels about comic book films. They're from a different era. Like, yeah, they don't like these types of films. I don't agree with their statements. Like, I think superhero films are just as valid an art form as your Pulp Fictions and your fucking Goodfellas of the world and your Godfathers. I think it's all valid. It's all art.
Yeah,
but
it's all about love and care.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I don't agree with their statements. But again, this is the difference, though. Like Scorsese didn't act like a child during the pandemic like Nolan did. No. And all that good stuff. That's like, okay, and like you said, they still give a shit about their audience. Want to make films for their audience. That, yeah, I'll go fucking check their shit out.
Yeah. Scorsese during the pandemic was prepping this monumental gangster epic that he is now ready to show us.
Yeah, he just went, hey, okay, I'll take more time to get this movie ready. And
Yeah.
when we can film, we can film.
Mm-hmm. To bring it on. Yeah,
Tarantino just waited until it was over and then he got ready for his new movie.
yeah, and he's doing his own thing. I'm reading his book right now, Cinema Speculation, and it's just so fun seeing how this guy thinks when it comes to film, and suddenly so much makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and we haven't even really taken into account what award season is going to bring because there's a lot of films coming out in the back half that have not been announced yet because their campaigns haven't started. So there's a lot of stuff that we're looking forward to.
Well, yeah, and now that the strike's going on, we may not get any. We'll get the movies, but the promotion part will be way different.
What is the Oscars going to look like with the strike? That is because this has happened before, an Oscars mid-strike, and it was very bare bones and didn't even hit 3 hours. So I say bring it on. I would love a trimmed down Oscars.
It's it's interesting for sure. I'm very curious. I know they recently, for anyone who cares about an update on that, we were recording this on Sunday. Friday, the Producers Guild, or the AMPTP, if you will, they broke a little bit. They blinked, and they reached out to the writers, WGA, to go back to the negotiating table. So they started talks Friday this past weekend. Good news, because it does show that, hey, they're finally starting to fold a little bit and realize, oh shit, we're running out of content, or we're going to run out of content. We need something here, or whatever they're thinking, right? But will they necessarily come to that table with terms that are agreeable? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it'll go down like it did last time. We want everything. We'll give you nothing. We want something. Deal. So, yeah, there you go. It'll take a while, but that's what'll be reached.
Yeah, the fact that they're at least wanting to talk is a step in the right direction. Like they're okay. They're finally blinking, and heads are out of very rich, greedy assholes high up in Hollywood are slowly coming out of the asses and realizing, oh, we need to make a deal.
Yeah, yeah. There's the content of film since we started First Thoughts has ranged from like very exciting and easy to talk about, or overshadowed by this crazy ass strike and lack of faith in film that's happening this year. So it's funny how like we try to talk about the movie at hand, but everything is just so it's impossible to not kind of keep up with that,
Yeah,
It's wild. I'm sure Ninja Turtles will do okay. Uh I hope it does better, but I don't see that happening. I
yeah,
wonder like how far the Barbie momentum is going to go. Like, is it going to take out Demeter? Probably. Is it going to take out Strays? Maybe.
yeah. How far is this fucking Barbie thing? I know they announced a max release date of the fall, so how far this goes, I don't know. Because I mean, I not have Barbie becoming like the one of the biggest hits of the year on my 2023 calendar.
The radius of this pink nuclear explosion is going to just keep taking out film after film until there's nothing left.
What if Saw X is the thing that keeps it back, keeps it at bay?
I think we have always relied on horror to wake us the fuck up and keep us grounded. I think Saw is the safest bet of the year. I think Saw X is going to save everything. I do think so.
Jigsaw's looking at Barbie dead in the eye, going, "I want to play a game."
Tobin Bell is just glaring down that pink wave, and all he's got to do is just put on a pig mask and grab Barbie with some chloroform.
Jesus Christ!
That's how we do it. That's how we do it at Twisted Pictures. God damn it. I would love if that's Saw's new campaign, just like putting Barbie in a game.
God, you thought you liked Barbie, but this year is for Saw. I love Saw became like this massive hit that no one expected. It just racks up all this money.
Done it before. They can do it again. That would be fantastic. But we will see, because obviously we're gonna do big things with Saw X.
I'll be there. I will be there.
Well, in the meantime, I mean, Ninja Turtles was really good. I recommend going to see it. It deserves a big screen. experience. It's really fun. It ends with a big kaiju fight, which I did not expect.
No. Yeah, look, I'm with this. Obviously my nostalgia filled heart lies with the first few Nice films, but this is easily up there for me as probably one of the best takes on this of this franchise. Um, and it deserved to make a hell of a lot more money. Please, I would with Connor go out, see it, check it out. I get it. Your kids want to see the big shark film, but also take them to the Ninja Turtles film. Do a double feature.
Also, maybe be a parent and don't take your kid to the big shark PG-13 movie, because that's just no. It's not. No. Why we have PG movies? Damn it.
It's really just like the moms can go look at Jason Statham. Let's be honest. Not shaming any mom that's saying yes because secretly they want to look at the staff. I get it. But let's just look at the actual reasons here, folks.
It was just so weird to see so many kids in the Meg too, and just asking
a bunch of happy kids and a bunch of happy moms, but for very different reasons.
The Exorcist question, it just, mommy, what was that? I was dying in my seat, just like, oh, you took your kid to see a big shark, and now you got to explain the devil to them. Way to go, mom.
Right, have fun with that one, dude. We'll talk about mom, but when I went, like, I don't know what this idiot family thought, but I bought tickets while I was the only one not around anyone, and there was a family that had bought all the seats next to me on my left. So when I set my popcorn down to go use the bathroom, I was like, okay, found my seat. It was a teenager, and I just wanted to punch him immediately because he just looks at the seat and all like someone bought one next to me. Like he was generally shocked that someone sat on the seat next to him. I'm like, well, when your idiot parents don't know how to buy movie tickets, and I bought mine in advance. Yes, buddy. But luckily, no one was sitting to the right of me, so I moved a seat down because they were loud and the fucking kids smelled like ass. So I had to move.
I had a family sit next to me too in a mostly empty theater. Why? And the mom and the kids came. I usually sit on the end, and this family came in, sat next to me, and there was one seat empty, and I was like, oh, good. And then Dad came over, and he sat at that seat. But first, he leaned in, and was like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, because like there's no like I didn't have to get up to give him access. There's a huge, empty row in front of me where the servers come to deliver food. Like, just go there, pal. Like, what do you? And I said that, I'm like, cool. And then just didn't move. And he was like, oh, then he figured it out. And I was like, great. I've got an idiot sitting next to me. This is wonderful.
And once I saw that my chance to at least move one down, I was like, fuck it, I'll just move one down because I don't want to sit next to this kid the whole movie because his parents don't know how to buy tickets.
I'll never understand that. Like, don't you see if it's a full house, I get it. I got no problems with that. But when it's mostly empty, go away.
Yeah, like why?
Get out of my life. You're intruding in my life here, and I don't want that. So leave, please.
I am comfortable enough to admit I'm watching this movie alone. This is what I've chosen to do for 2 hours of my life. Yeah. I can admit that. Don't make it weird by saying next to me because you just no. I don't want to make it seem like I'm having insecurity issues.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of your family. Get out.
Yeah. The only good exception, and again, this never happens, is if like it's next to a nice looking lady and she's like, "Oh hey," but when is that actually really going to happen? Let's be honest, guys.
Yeah. You're not going to be getting a handy in Thunder Gun Express.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, it's never going to happen. It's a good thought to have that one day will happen, but no. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, no, just sit a seat away from me. Please get away from me.
Well, we'll be back tomorrow with Meg 2, most likely. Talk a bit about Jason Statham, some big sharks, and a lot of terrible decisions. And yeah, with that, go see Ninja Turtles. Worth the money, and it's really fun. So take it easy.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.